fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're just freaked out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kiru's show here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Izuku Midoriya and Bakugo Katsuki, who is currently Agent Venom. Now, Midoriya, after encountering Hybrid and trying to save Jiro, Hybrid himself began to lose it, as he did begin to succumb to something in his blood, or possibly another symbiote that was involved in the mix. It is still being studied as to what exactly happened to this person. Now, along with that, it took the combined efforts of Midori and Baku to try and take him down. However, after the Grendel Dragon did actually consume him and take on the form of Null, did it take Midoriya, Bakugo, a lot of people from S.H.I.E.L.D., S.H.I.E.L.D. LMDs with basically the repulsor power of Iron Man, and Todoroki using his flames to take down Null. Now, Null encountered quite the force on Earth, as Midoriya did actually then meet with Robbie, who was somehow still alive, bonding with the man and finding out the truth about his life, as the man died in his arms. Midoriya giving him one thing he always wanted before he did pass: a happy life. Now, with that being said, we do actually have 1 week later, where Midoriya, he does walk into the S.H.I.E.L.D. base, as people do look at him, and Midoriya does actually notice that they're all staring. So they're just as curious about it as I am, aren't they? Yes, they are, Izuku. They want to know what we can do. Please. Our power's gone pretty far. Midoriya to say, bringing up his right hand and talking about how, if he's being honest, he feels the strongest he ever has in his whole life. That encounter with Null was pretty crazy too. Now, with that being said, Midoriya, he actually does go over to the research lab and give them a piece of his toxin symbiotes. Now, they are confused by looking at it under a microscope, since this is different from his other previous sample, and it's so ancient. Now, they do try telling Midoriya about what is going on with it, as Midoriya actually does ask a few questions about their anti-venom serum. Now, Midoriya, he does try to cut through their bullshit. Oh, we're going through these processes and these processes. Midoriya actually taking initiative, since he does have the combined memories and knowledge of about all the scientists in this base. Him actually saying, okay, get him this thing, and this thing, as he would whip up some anti-venom in roughly a few hours instead of a few days. Now, he basically does get all the process set up and then inform them about what to do next, before he would leave. Them actually astounded because Midoriya was able to cut out some steps and stay just as effective, if not even improve the effectiveness of anti-venom. Now, Midoriya would then walk to where Toga is currently being held, as he does find her new cell. Now, she was moved out of a padded room and actually put into a proper holding cell with cement walls, a bed, and, well, at least a desk for right now. Now, they actually did also give Jiro also did they also did give Toga a proper therapist, or at least someone to look over her mentally. As Jiro is currently sitting, Toga is currently sitting down at the desk, as she actually does have her legs balled up on the seat, as she also does have her arms wrapped around them, having her head sit on her knees as she's talking with the therapist. Them asking these questions and these questions, her giving this response. Now, Midori actually would walk into the cell, as Toga does actually turn her head and look at him, as Midori would see her. Toga actually going to get up and walk over, as she does actually look up at Izuku. Now, as soon as the mask does retract around him, she does actually throw herself towards him, hugging him, as she does at least say, friend. Now, Midoriya actually does smile, him wrapping his own arms around her and saying that that is correct. He is a friend. Now, he does exactly ask the therapist how she has been doing. Her saying that technically she's not allowed to tell him. However, right now she's at the same mental facilities as a child. Yes, it would seem that whatever Carnage did do to her, it sent her back quite a bit in development. In fact, well, there's also the fact that whenever we did find her and actually get a hold on her, she did actually seem to show signs of malnourishment, along with that sleep deprivation. Within the last 2 months, she has been in sealed custody. She has made improvements. And, in fact, Shield believes that she's well on her way to recovery. Really? Well, when was her last dose of anti-venom? They just administered it to her a few minutes ago, before you did come. Ah, I see. I was hoping to put something to the test. Oh, and what exactly would that be? I was hoping to bond her to my symbiote. I'm sorry? Yeah. Put a piece of my symbiote in her blood. And get it to destroy Carnage. Toga actually backing away from Midoriya, talking about how friend will hurt her. Now, Midoriya does just say that she does seem to be quite strange, though. Just a few days ago, she was speaking a full sentence. She was slow, yes, but she was speaking. Well, that is true. She seems to be more active mentally around people she does recognize. And your friend has been a bit busy. Now, Midoriya, he would then leave, after telling Toga that he will come back to see her again. Her actually almost crying whenever Midoriya does leave. Now, the therapist would write that down. As Midoriya, he actually would make his way to a certain place. And he would then go down in an elevator, pressing a few buttons in a particular set of order. As Midoriya does then continue downwards, past 0. And he arrives at the floor, as he would continue walking. Now, we actually do have Nick Fury, who he is simply just staring at the object that does perplex everyone. Now, we do then have Midoriya, who would walk up and see the object. Now, Nick Fury does just tell Midoriya that this thing, they don't even know what it is. And Midoriya, he actually would look at it, as it is simply just sitting there, the area around it completely undisturbed, as there is a light shining down on it. And Midoriya, he would see it, as it looks just like it did in his vision. The mighty hammer of Thor. As he does ask Nick Fury exactly if he knows what that thing is. Kid, by all accounts you've got me. This is just something that we found here. Found here? Yeah. The entire facility is entirely constructed around this single object. For one simple reason. No one can move it. Really? Has anyone with a cork tried? Yeah. We've tried everything. Now, Midoriya actually would step forwards. Fury just watching as Midoriya does wrap his hand around the handle and go to try and pull it upwards. Now, this would have no effect. And it is quite strange. Midoriya is pulling with all of his might, and he could lift a lot of weight. So why is this thing not moving or even budging an inch? In fact, his feet are sinking into the ground. Now, Midoriya would just say that this thing looks exactly like it did in his vision, and he wants to know how long it's been here. Now, Fury does tell Midoriya that this thing's been here for as long as he can remember. In fact, this thing might even predate Japan. That's impossible. Kid, we're talking about the hammer of an ancient being. Thor. In fact, well, we still don't know too much about it. No one's ever been able to lift it or move it. And we don't think anyone ever will. But what's so important about this piece of, well, thing? This piece of rock we can't even identify. In my vision, there was a man who faced off against Null. With this same thing. You're joking. No. In fact, it was interesting, to say the least. I don't know the best way to say it, but the Thunder God, he's faced off against Null, and I think he died. Well, there goes our secret weapon then. Any chance an ancient dead god might rise up and use this thing? I have no idea. Now, Midoriya would just walk away, as he does pass by many other different rooms, all holding things that Midoriya has seen through Fury's memories. A vial labeled serum on it that does just hold a sign over it. Now, he also does see a shield and a few other things. They all do seem to be quite peculiar, as he would leave. Now, within this amount of time, we actually do have Midoriya and Bakugo, who are actually out in the forest training their abilities and learning more and more about them. Now, Midoriya, he does all find it to be quite strange, as he is actually thinking about talking to Bakugo about the symbiotes, wondering if him and Venom might be able to talk, since he did say that they might be enemies the next time they did meet. And well, now they're working together in S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, Midoriya and Bakugo, they are currently flying through the air with the wings they have created, using the symbiotes, as Midoriya and Bakugo are both working on aerial combat. And Midoriya is still trying to get used to all of this. The abilities that he's unlocked from Null, they're quite useful. In fact, he never imagined that he'd be able to fly or even create weapons the way he currently does. And there actually is something that Null did give him. Call it a parting gift. Apparently, the symbiotes can now actually absorb energy. And by channeling it through your hand, you can basically copy what those robots did do. So, they haven't tested it too much. However, apparently there's a chance you might get overloaded. So, they do need to be careful. Now, as Midoriya is thinking this, we do have whenever him and Bakugo do land. Midoriya actually landing a bit harder as he does slide on the ground. As Bakugo himself does do almost the same thing. The mask retracting around his face as he does talk about how that was still pretty good. Yeah. Hey Bakugo. Any chance I can talk with my symbiote? Venom? Sure. Now, Midoriya, he actually would, well, hold out his hand and not Toxin, Venom would actually bond with him. Midoriya actually exchanging symbiotes with Bakugo for a second. Now, Bakugo does find it quite weird to be wearing Midoriya's symbiotes, as he does just look down at his hands and asks Toxin exactly what is he. I'm Toxin. Hello. Now, we actually have Midoriya as he is talking with Venom, and asking him if they can speak. Now, Venom and Midoriya do talk, and Midoriya, he basically does explain that he wanted to save Toga, and asking Venom if he does understand. Venom, he certainly is able to actually kind of get it. After being bonded with his other host for a month or two, and then actually being with Bakugo, it sort of has given him a bit more of a view on life. His other host was reckless. His other host was easy. He thought that murdering was always the first thing you could do. The man was a trained soldier. And Venom actually did not agree with it. He saw killing as a last resort. However, that man saw killing as a first option. Now, Midoriya and Venom do actually somewhat talk it out. Venom apologizing for almost murdering Kyoka, almost murdering Jiro. Now, as that does actually happen, Midoriya does at least say that it's good that they are at least on this level again. I would agree. Now, Bakugo actually does interrupt these two, asking if they're done. Yes, we are. Now, Midoriya does hold out his hand, as Bakugo does actually go to reach. However, he actually does stop. As he does just say that, actually, how about this? He holds on to Venom for a bit of time, and if he doesn't want him, they can change back. Now, really, that thought was put into his head by Toxin, who does know exactly how far back Midoriya and Venom's history does go. Now, Midoriya was talking about how he kinda does get it. Venom pointing out immediately that They just want them to be back together again. It does make sense. We've always been like this, haven't we? Oh my god. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Partners again? Partners. Now, Midoriya actually would create wings out of Venom, as he would tell Bakugo that he does need to go easy on Toxin. He has barely seen combat, and doesn't have a lot of bad memories. Bakugo just nodding his head as he does say sure. And he actually does see a very good one here. Don't you dare open your mouth about that. Oh please, I wouldn't. Besides, you might see something in my symbiote you don't like. You mean my symbiote? Shut up. Now, with that being said, Midoriya, he would leave. As he does head back to his apartment, where Jiro actually is. As soon as he does walk in with a black hoodie and, well, black pants, she immediately asks why he has Venom again. Midoriya kind of explained that him and Venom did actually make up, and that for right now they're going back on a test run. Test run? Yeah. A bit. I'm surprised Toxin didn't tell you. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting that he's in my head. It's honestly kind of creepy, you know? Yeah, a little bit. Well, I mean... Toxin popping out of Joe's hand. A small little bit of it. Asking Midoriya if he would like to, well, merge. Merge. I might be interrupting things, so consume this portion of my symbiote. And, well, then I'll be out of your hair for a while. Sure. Now, Venom actually would hold out his hand, as Toxin does just jump into it. Now, Midoriya is confused, bringing his hand up and looking at that, as he does wait to hear Toxin's voice. However, it never comes. Midoriya asking Venom if he just consumed him immediately. Yes, I did. Okay, that's kind of weird. Well, he did ask for it. It's good to have you back, buddy. It's good to be back. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. Catch you guys in the next part.